A Sioux Falls nonprofit has served free meals to the community for decades.
This year, it's turning 40 years old. In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Kelly Volk revisits the early days of the Banquet to see how it's grown over the years.
The Banquet opened its doors in June of 1985.
It's just a group of people from a variety of walks in our region that realized that there was a need in Sioux Falls for some type of feeding ministry. But even more importantly, there was a need for people in our community to have a way to give back.
KELOLAND News took viewers inside the Banquet back in November of that year as guests enjoyed a hot meal. A mom eating with her son explained just how helpful the service was for families.
It gives the mothers a break where you don't have to fix meals and stuff. It helps on food at home.
40 years later, the Banquet is still filling different needs for people. Kayla Beetlespacher lives with cerebral palsy and says the Banquet helps her remain independent and live in her own home.
This place makes it easier for me not to have to cook.
The Sioux Falls woman also enjoys the company.
It's a place to come eat and fellowship and get to know new people.
From people seeking fellowship to people without a home, guests come to the Banquet for many different reasons.
We're serving working poor families that are doing their best to pay their rent, make sure their kids are at school, put gas in their car. But by the time they do all that stuff, putting a nutritious meal on the table is virtually impossible.
When the Banquet launched 40 years ago, it served one meal a week, but more meals were added over time.
If people are hungry one day a week, it stands to reason they're hungry more days of the week.
Today, the Banquet serves 16 meals a week between its two locations. Volunteer Don Snowberger has seen much of the growth and changes over the years at the Banquet. He's been with the organization for 37 years, first as an employee. Now, he's a volunteer doing tasks like washing dishes and mopping the floors.
If you're down here, especially at breakfast, it's like family. I know some of the people first name basis. They talk to me when I'm usually at the dishwashing window, and it's like family.
Volunteers play a critical role at the Banquet.
The volunteers are all of it. Every single one of these meals is prepared by and served by volunteer groups. The majority of the meals are even paid for by the volunteer groups. So the Banquet ministry does not happen without that volunteer.
The Banquet officially hits the 40-year mark on June 17th.
When you think about a humble beginning in a really small building with a very small kitchen, and 60 people showed up that first night. When you think about 40 years later, we're serving over 1,000 meals a day some days. That's pretty incredible.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Kelly Volk.
The Banquet first opened at a location on Main Avenue across from the downtown library. Today it has locations on East 8th Street and on North Marion Road.